You guys know when the lights are out, it's game time. Today I'm going to show you the dual layer approach to melody. So most people think melodies are just play through things, like just add these notes and you're going to have the perfect melody. When you think of melody as a multi-layered thing, you will have a deeper understanding of how far melody can actually go. Let's load up Poison in FL Studio. We're going to use stock plugins only here. We're going to go to the preset, go to default, so it's just a sawtooth. All right, now we're going to draw in the notes here. So let's right click, go to piano roll. And if you don't have your notes on, I'd highly recommend you guys go to the view, go to where it says keyboard, go to where it says key labels, go to all notes. If you don't have that on, I don't know how you use the piano roll in FL Studio. It's like half impossible. Okay. So what we're going to do here is pick a root note. In this case, we're going to pick the note D as a starting note. You guys can pick any note. If you want to go more rage and like Travis Scott stuff, stick around E and F as a root note. That's usually their root notes. For now, let's just start at D. All right, now to keep this short, every melody is basically just a chord broken into pieces. So let's make what's called a chord extension here. This is D minor 11. Okay, so it looks like a lot of notes, but I'll show you guys how to separate these. So think of this like a mini scale. That's basically what a scale is two chords if you really break it down. But this is called a chord extension, D, F, A, C, E, G, okay? What we can do is split this up into pieces. Think of it like two different chords. You have C major, D minor, okay? So think of it just separated. Okay, and then we can chop these up using the slice tool, or we could just move the notes around. Now the easiest way is to go from the root note to the fifth, and then back to the third, or use a sharp fifth or flat fifth, and go back to the tonic and kind of bounce around. So let me shorten these notes a little bit. Turn the metronome on, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna do dun, 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 dun. Now you can't hear the tone right now because it's a sustained sound. Let's go back to Poison. Okay, just follow these steps, guys. We're gonna add a cutoff filter here with this cutoff knob, and then we're gonna add an amount, turn down sustain, release, and just use a simple decay. This creates a pluck sound. Give it a little release. So this is the rhythm, and then we're going to break this top portion into different notes. Now my ear wants to hear dun-na-na-na-na-na. That's just what my ear's telling me. So we're just going to listen to my ear for now. This isn't theory, this is my brain telling me. All right, now he's got to get the timing right. Now, really, these notes are just part of the chord extension. Okay, A is the fifth. We don't need to break it down into music theory. My brain's just telling me to play those notes. So, dun. Okay, now I want you guys to focus on the bass. So we broke a chord into two chords, and then we broke the one chord into pieces to make the melody. And then we separated the call and response. So this is the call, this is the response. It doesn't have to be formulaic like chord here, melody note here. We're just separating stuff so that the ear can separate ideas. Now what we're listening to is this bass note. My ear wants to hear dun, dun, and then boom. So anytime you want movement, you don't necessarily need new chords and new this and new that. Just change the bass note. So this is called trecio, tre-c-o-c-o. That's why it has a bounce to it. Tre-c-o-c. So it's continued trecio. Now again, we can remove notes. Now it's a little more minimalistic. Now it sounds a little repetitive. Now my ear wants to hear dun. So listen to what your ear is actually hearing. My ear hears this. Okay, Okay, now let's hit shift and just transpose this down. We're doing this by ear. What happens if we raise these notes, hit shift up until D is the top note? Now we just got to figure out, we got to transpose that whole section here. So I'm just doing this in pieces, guys. We're doing it by ear. There's no like magical, do this every single time. So we're just going to change this jump. Pull this down though, it feels a little too lightweight. Let's hit control down. Alright, that feels a little bit better. So we basically took this fifth interval, pulled it down an octave so it plays a little bit of a deeper tone, and then we inverted or raised those middle notes up an octave. Okay, so this all started with the chords, and it looks complicated, but really you're just breaking apart an 11th chord and giving stuff purpose. Okay, now let's go to the parallel portion. So let's send this as a duplicate over to another channel by left clicking the up arrow at the bottom here. So now there's a duplicate playing the same exact thing. Now we're going to run this through different effects. So now we can use 100% of effects like Fruity Delay 3. We could turn the wet level all the way up, dry level down, and just use this. Let's do ping pong mode, left and right. Now because there's so much movement, we would have to slow this melody down so it doesn't just sound like it's just super fast. Now for the timing, you know, I'd recommend like 3s, 6s, 5s in terms of the bounce here. I don't know what 5 would be like half, so it's like 2.5. We could also take off tempo sync and just do it by ear. All right, now we're gonna filter out and add some distortion. All right, now we can do cool things like doing pitch dives, for example. Let's try the FL Studio plugins first before we get into any third-party stuff. Let's do, where's it at? I think it's just called Pitch Shifter. They changed all the names to everything, so I'm trying to remember what it's actually called. Okay, Pitch Shifter, here we go. So let's do music and pull it down an octave. So now the delay goes down an octave. So if you guys want to hear just the delay, now this might be too low. So let's go up an octave. And now we're basically creating the granular sound of it. Let's add a little jitter. Let's actually do random. I think that does random pitch tuning. And then we can add granular feedback. I don't know if I like this choppy sound on it though. All right, now we're gonna blend this back in. Now we're not gonna worry about the main sound. We're just only listening to this extra layer. And I'm just gonna keep doing stuff to it. Like add Fruity Reverb 2. Wet level all the way up. Let's do dry level 2. That way we have some delay signal. Do long decay. And let's do weirder stuff here. Let's go to like gross beat, momentary, half speed that thing, blend it in. Now we can go back to the sound and start editing the sound. I'm actually going to swap this out for Toxic Biohazard and create a little patch. So this is the cool part when you have the, when you have all the motion stuff, the sound design, then you can go back to the source when you have all the effects laid out. Tries to give this some like vibe. Right now I'm just creating a transient. And then we can add more unison in here. So again, from this point on, it's just about what you guys want to hear. So again, it's all about thinking of your melody as like two different things, effect and the melody. I don't think I could add anything else that would add anything to this. Maybe, let me see here. Nah, I don't want to overkill the effect. So let's add this to the playlist. We're going to print this with the effects. And there's another way we can clone this, hit shift. We're going to make this unique. And then we're going to double click in here, right click, edit in audio editor. I learned this from Thayer. Shout out to Thayer, hit blur, turn the amount up, mix level all the way up, hit accept. It becomes this atmospheric, just tone. So there's 1,000 things we could do with this. This isn't mandatory. I'm just showing you guys cool stuff. Double click, hit Control L, send it to the mixer. I'm moving quick here because this is just arbitrary. We're gonna filter out the sound here. And then we're gonna kind of make the sound stutter. Kind of like, let me record this. So I'm gonna record me moving this knob. Most people don't know you can record automation that way. So now we don't have to sit here and like draw that in. The only thing is it recorded all over the place, so. Actually, let me do this. Let's just mute the original sound so we. When you record automation, make sure it's on its own pattern. That's what these lines are. That's me moving the knob. Let's also send this sound to the mixer. And now we have, and my brain is like getting confused here. So we have the, oh duh, we don't even need any effect on it because it's already printed. Now this sound we can double click, right click, open in Fruity Slicer, for example. We can slice by the beat. This is a Wonder Girl technique. And then we can move this to its own pattern, right click. So these are, again, just creative little things that we've discovered over time. We can slice the sample, make sure we hit play to end. That way we don't have to use 1,000 slices like this. We could just hold one note. And I'm trying to think, how else do we do this? Or you could do the chopped up way, and then you can go to the control, do the note pan, and do like a left right type of pan situation. So we could do this. So now we're creating just movements, and then we can go in here. We could change the tuning if we wanted to. I wouldn't do that for the sound. I'm just showing you guys. Say Control L, send it to the mixer. Then we could just filter out the sound. So we have this plus, I forgot we did a filter sweep one. We did so many layers here. All right, so let's add that in. That might be too much because I forgot the filter. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll just put it on channel 3. Duh. Let's do that. That way I don't have to redo all that. And now let's start shaping the tone a little bit. Let's figure out what tone is a little. Let's see what happens if we send this sound through the effect chain. So there's probably more processing we would have to add to this. It's a little sharp. What we're gonna do here, since I did a lot of layers, guys, so we did like almost too many layers here. We're gonna run it through Fruity Limiter, add like a little buzz to it with saturation. Give it a little expansion for movement. Now, part of the sound is just too saturated. So instead of this, we're going to go back to the original source because we have more control over the sound. It's kind of hard when you print stuff to audio. Not kind of hard, it is hard. So we're actually going to move this to a different pattern. That way I have control over the notes. I'm going to pull back some of the saturation here. Let's also add some delay, some LFO movement. So these are like subconscious movements. I feel like that every single time is getting a little repetitive. And now this is about finding the right key. So I do like this tone. The issue here is with Fruity Slicer, we can't just transpose it down. It's not going to actually change the key. So what I'm going to do is just transpose this pattern and see which key sounds the best. I think this key sounds fine, but this one sounds a little more emotional, which means we have to go back to Fruity Slicer, pull this down 300 cents in the top left. So now I'm just adjusting the pluck of the tone. So again, now we're just shaping the actual tone. I don't want to sit here too long and shape this because we could be shaping it all day. I'm just adding another oscillator for different structures here. So now we have a unique sound, very mellow. And if I play chords, it has motion to it. Alright, so we can't sit here all day in sound design, but for those who are watching the replay, I just want to get to the point. I took off unison, but let's try it. Smooths out the tone a little bit. And then we can even automate the fader so it kind of sweeps into volume. Now again, we can group all these sounds and then add something like Looperator. Now Looperator is not an FL Studio plugin, but I'm just showing you guys what we can do to kind of group all this stuff together. Now for this melody, I would like to speed it up. I'm not sure how that would affect the chops, however, because the chops were made at a certain BPM. Yeah, it's gonna offset the chop. So I'm going to go for a smoother tone here, not just slamming it through saturation. And again, we could do even more stuff, but again, we have a lot of motion here, so I don't want to keep adding motion over motion, but Transporter would be a cool effect to mess with for this group. See how much processing goes into this, different stages of doing stuff. So now we're giving it rhythm. Now we have this very emotional sweeping sound here. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Now I'm taking out the harsh tone. Let me save this project, guys. Hold on. Save this as melody, layer, method. You guys will get the project files in the, if you guys go to busyworksbeats.com/betterbeatmaker, you guys will, or just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio, you guys will get the project files in the Google Drive. Just check the FL Studio project files folder and then check the melody series subfolder. All right, so let's let this play through. And now I can even play over top this. I don't even know what key we're in, but let me see if I can figure out the key. So I turn off my controller. Let's figure out what key we're in. So I think we're in A something. I don't know A major very well, so let's do F sharp minor. Not much to add, never mind. My keyboard's too soft anyway for this. Alright, let's just vibe to it for a second. Now imagine this with other sounds in the mix, this little sidechain effect. Alright, so that's the method, you guys. So think of your melody as two pieces, the direct melody and then a whole nother duplicate of the melody where you just slam a ton of effects on it. Alright guys, and you could print it and redo it 1,000 times over. So that is how we did that. If you guys want to learn how to make beats like the pros, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. Peace out, guys.